All right, what's up, fight fans? We are live. Greetings from the Wrestleverse. This is Tijon, and it's time to take it to the ring. All right, so man, just recapping what happened last night, we finally got to see the highly anticipated Royal Rumble event, man. A lot can be said. I'm gonna keep a lot of my opinions towards the end, but it was highly anticipated and it kind of lived up to it. I had a good time with it. It was a lot of excitement to it, and you could take from it what you will. There's a lot of story development there. And that's the key to remember, okay? Like, I'm not going to crap on it as much as I did last night. But, it had its moments. I had a good time with it. It was still an enjoyable time. So I want to start off with the super intense match between Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. Now, we knew these two were going to bring it. Seth Rollins has been in Roman Reigns' head for weeks now going into this match. And it really capped off when Seth Rollins came out to their old Shield intro, man. You could see it. He has the Shield gear on, the same stuff, just really playing into Roman Reigns' head, because that stuff is still fresh. These wounds, he was just scratching and picking until they were open, and it clearly had a toll on Roman Reigns. Now, their match was fantastic. I really loved their match. It was intense. Seth Rollins came out the gate just bulldozing Roman Reigns for the beginning of the match. It was a really good showing for him, and of course, Roman Reigns, being Roman Reigns, was not going without a fight. He put up a tremendous effort and put him in a mean guillotine. And unfortunately, he wouldn't let it go, and that's really what ended the match, because as you can see, Seth Rollins was out, man, but luckily he was able to get that to hold on to that rope. And Roman Reigns snapped, man. We've seen a different side of Roman Reigns because of what Seth Rollins has brought out of him, and he wouldn't let go. So we got a DQ. So Seth Rollins ends up winning, but Roman Reigns isn't done. It was different. This was just a whole different side of Roman Reigns that we haven't seen, and Seth Rollins promised to bring that out of him. And so we've kind of seen him turn into a heel. Roman Reigns, of course, gets to keep his title, but unfortunately, that doesn't negate the fact that he did lose this match. He kept his title in the dirtiest way possible, and now he has, for the first time in his life, become kind of the bad guy in this scenario. You have Seth Rollins, who is just, he's like the Joker to me. You know what I mean? He thrives off chaos. His whole thing is burn it down. We heard that chant again, but it's impressive to me to see what he was able to do with Roman Reigns, and I can't wait to see what they have in the future. Now, hold on, we got a comment. Roman Reigns is like God of WWE, not easily available, appeared on Raw out of nowhere. Yeah, that is what happened. Spoilers, bro. I didn't even get to that yet. But yeah, man, Roman Reigns, that just goes to what I'm saying, bro. Roman Reigns really turned into this evil guy this event. But I like the character development. I'm tired of seeing him be just the good guy that wins all the time. You know what I mean? I'm glad to kind of see him branch off and get his hands dirty for once. He can't be likable forever. So I'm glad to see the difference in his character so far. But next we had the Women's Royal Rumble. As you can see, it was the best Royal Rumble to me of the night. It was way better than the men's. It was super entertaining. I had a great time with this match. There were so many appearances, so many storylines going into this. Honestly, I believe that the women need more representation in the fighting. You know what I mean? We see a lot of men take over still when it comes to the matchups and stuff, and we'll see 1 to 2 women fight women matchups in an event at a time. But this card and the people that they brought in they really took over. You know what I mean? It was a great thing to watch. And I mean, in the next clip, you'll see it's just chaos in the ring. You know, you got Rhea Ripley, Nikki ASH on the side. We got to see the Bella Twins. Lita showed up. Charlotte Flair was going crazy. Bianca Belair, of course, going crazy. And of course, Keith, I see what you're talking about. Ronda Rousey's return was awesome. It was great. I hated it. I feel like of course, she was going to come back for it, but come on, man. I wanted to see you come back before this, not just steal the show. I wanted somebody else to, you know, get that chance to get into WrestleMania. You know what I mean? Since Ronda Rousey has gotten into the WWE, you know, she's always had that star power. Like she's always been up there. So I was really excited to see what other storylines they would bring in. But, you know, Ronda Rousey is a dog, so you have to give her that spotlight. She ruined Charlotte Flair's dream of being the first champion to win the Royal Rumble. And she was super close. I mean, they took out Bianca Belair, who was my favorite, to win that. So, you know, kudos to Ronda Rousey. She showed up, got Charlotte Flair out of there. So we'll see who she picks. I'm thinking she'll pick Becky Lynch, but we'll see. I want to know who's gonna fight Charlotte Flair. Honestly, I mean, it might be Naomi that comes in, you know, does their fight again, but I mean, I have no idea because there's still so much intensity when it comes to her and Sonya Deville. Like I said, bro, there's so many storylines, and I feel like we haven't even tapped into all of them yet. But welcome back, Ronda Rousey. Can't wait to see what you do for WrestleMania. I'll give you your props. You did win the Royal Rumble, but you got more to prove for me, man. I got to see what else you got. But then we also got to see, like I just said earlier, Becky Lynch finally facing off with Doudrop. This match had everything right. You know what I mean? Like it was a good match statistically. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on, Keith. What did you say? What would have made it special if she would have dedicated the victory? Yeah, maybe. I mean, she does have that nickname that she got from him. So yeah, it would have, but we'll probably see that in WrestleMania. But talking about Becky Lynch and Doudrop, their match was, I mean, it was a perfect match. Honestly, there was nothing missing, but it was boring. It was boring. I'm gonna call a spade a spade. To me, I was not impressed. It didn't seem like the crowd was too impressed. There was a lot going on, and it seemed to go on too long, but we all knew that Becky Lynch was going to win. And I just feel like it just didn't hit that entertainment factor that we all thought it would. Now, Doudrop put up a great fight. It was, you know, commendable what she was doing, but, you know, she doesn't belong up at the top rope. And all we kept seeing was her go up the top rope and give Becky Lynch that chance to come back. And then she took it and ended up slamming Doudrop for the win and getting the pin. So, I mean, like I said, I feel like it was a little too drawn out. I feel like maybe it would have been a little more entertaining if it was a bit quicker. I just think that this was the filler of the night, and it kind of showed. You know, it just wasn't as thrilling as I would have liked or as anybody seemed to have wanted it to be. But, you know, that's the name of the game. I hope that this doesn't shine too badly on Doudrop, because she is a great competitor, and I loved seeing her finally in the spotlight. And leading up to this, she was extremely entertaining. It was great to watch her, but this massive spotlight did not do her that well, if I'm being completely honest. So I'm hoping that she's able to bounce back from this and not just completely fall out of our eyes, because that would honestly suck. But next we had an even more highly anticipated match. You guys already know this match has been 20 years in the making. We could not wait for it, bro. I'm so happy that Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar finally got to fight. But, oh man, Bobby Lashley showed up. I'm going to be honest. I didn't expect him to last as long as he did with Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar took him to Suplex City. I mean, they both really were going at each other with the suplexes, you know? So it was really impressive to see them just showcasing their massive strength that we all know that they have. But, you know, Brock Lesnar is just, he's just a different beast. You know, he's a monster when it comes to this game that we're in. You know what I mean? But give credit to Bobby Lashley, putting him in that hurt lock, almost putting him out. You know what I mean? Like it was just a great thing to watch as they battled it out. It was two guys that we've seen be dominant in everything that they touch. You know what I mean? Like they are where they're at for a reason. And this was a great match to watch. It was very entertaining. It had its turns. Oh, wait, Keith, what'd you say? Did Brock come out with it? Nah, he didn't come out with his cowboy gear. I like the cowboy gear. I just don't like the piece of hair that he got on the top of his head. He can cut that. I feel like rocking the baldy at this point would be better. That's my personal opinion. But I mean, Brock Lesnar is just like, he's the best right now, and he would have won. You know, he had the pin. He had Bobby Lashley down after a devastating F5, but it took out the ref, and the ref was gone for like 10 minutes. It felt like the ref was nowhere to be found. So like we just kind of were waiting on something to happen. Something had to give, and none other than Roman Reigns, of course, came out and demanded Paul Heyman give him the belt. And Paul Heyman actually did it. Like, I was stunned, bro. I mean, I knew Paul Heyman had to come out with a decision on who he was gonna rock with the most. But I thought after Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins fight, I thought it was clear that Paul Heyman was just gonna stick with Brock Lesnar. So for this to happen was a complete turn of events. Like, I was shocked, and it seemed like everybody was stunned. So then Roman Reigns hits Brock Lesnar with it, turning the momentum all the way to Bobby Lashley. And Bobby Lashley actually gets the pin when another ref runs in to help, keep the match going. So Bobby Lashley is now the new WWE champion. How crazy is that? It was a wild turn of events. And I was on the edge of my seat from that. But what does this mean for Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar? As you can see, look, it looks like Paul Heyman's actually scared of Roman Reigns, but Roman Reigns is, he's the head of the table, but that's a very difficult decision that he had to make. I feel like it was the wrong decision. I think that Roman Reigns is about to be humbled a little bit, or maybe, it is the kind of the tides turning and his character is just going to be something we have never seen from Roman Reigns before. Maybe that's what they're building up towards, and Paul Heyman just can't get away from him, for this. So we'll see. I think we know what Brock Lesnar was going to do right after that, but we'll get into that. That was the last thing that I want to touch on. So the next thing, of course, was this mixed tag team match between Edge and Beth Phoenix versus Miz and Maurice. Now, this was another fight that, we've been anticipating for a long time. They've been building it up. The Miz and Edge have been beefing for like since last year, right? Like, it's been a long time. So it's about time that they finally were able to fight. Of course, they had their fight a few weeks ago, and that wasn't enough to shut Miz up. I don't think anything is ever enough to shut the Miz up, which is why we like him so much, right? Like, he's always going to be a draw, but they are all big draws. So it was awesome to see some of our favorites finally fight again in the ring. I had a great time with it. It was an intense match. It was way more exciting than I thought. I thought that Edge and Beth were just going to destroy them, and there would be nothing, there would be no real competition here, right? But, I mean, even Maurice really got in the fight after a little bit. Of course, she ran for a little while, but, we saw her pick up another brick in a purse and beat Beth Phoenix over the head with it again. And that was really like, the start of her actually getting involved in the match, and not just the Miz really being the only guy to fight. But I mean, we saw a whole lot of, exciting things happen in this match. I mean, both Edge and Beth hit their finishers, and I think even Miz and Maurice did theirs as well. But it was Beth Phoenix's finisher, the Glamazon Slam, I think it's called, that ended the Miz and Maurice and put them out, and the Edge and Beth came out with the win, and that was what we all wanted to finally happen. Well, yep, that's what I'm saying, Keith. Finally, he was able to shut Miz up again, but I don't think that this is going to be the last that we see of any of them. I don't see them fighting anymore, I'm hoping that this kind of ends it. I want to see more. Give some more of our favorite celebrities some more spotlight. I don't really think that this needs to be touched on anymore. They could kind of end it where it's at. I know Maurice doesn't want to do this anymore. She made that perfectly clear long before this fight even started. So I think that it's time to wrap this story up. Edge is one of my favorite wrestlers. The Miz is just entertaining. I really was happy to see this fight come into fruition. So yeah, I'm happy with how it's done. So I'm asking you guys at the WWE, let's see something else. I'm good. And I'm sure everybody else is good. So next we had the Men's Royal Rumble, and this was great. I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna bag on anything that happened really, because I mean, at the end of the day, the Royal Rumble was highly anticipated. We all were expecting this to be one of the best events, and I mean, it was great, And so the Men's Royal Rumble was an amazing thing. I kept forgetting how many stars they had that were actually showing up. I mean, we had Amos come in and destroy a bunch of people. Sheamus came out. Randy Orton was throwing people out left and right. Big E made an actually short appearance, and so did Kofi Kingston. I thought that they would be like the longer people in. Johnny Knoxville, Bad Bunny. Like, bro, we had a whole bunch of people just show up and they gave us a show. It was a really fun match, but I mean, it's no different than what we expect from the Men's Royal Rumble. Now, there was a lot of chaos. Like, you see Johnny Knoxville in like these weird dollar store tights that he seemed to just like find or make real quick for the match. I was rooting for Austin Theory. I'm not going to lie. I knew that he probably wasn't going to win, but him and AJ Styles lasted an extremely long time in that ring. I think it was like 40 minutes or something like that. And kudos to them. I see like really bright things for Austin Theory. So that's why I'm pulling for him. And I thought maybe, I know my boy Noah was saying that AJ Styles needs to like go on like a real big, like legendary run before he calls it. But I don't think he's anywhere near done, if I'm being honest. But this was still a really fun thing to watch. But we kind of expected it. I don't know if y'all expected it, but Brock Lesnar showed up for the last entry in the Royal Rumble, and he did what he always does and completely wiped out everybody. I'm talking like just was throwing everybody out of the ring. Speaking of throwing people out of the ring, though, I got to make one more side comment, and that's my boy Rick Boogs. Bro, I want to see this man in a bigger spotlight because Rick Boogs is a dog. Like, I saw him lifting people up one-handed and throwing them out of the ring like they were kids. I'm a huge fan of Rick Boogs, and I'm just throwing that out there before I get back to it with Brock Lesnar, that Rick Boogs needs more spotlight. Get him, start pushing him away from Shinsuke Nakamura. Let's see what Rick Boogs has. How many Rumble matches has Lesnar won? I think that makes it 3, isn't it? It's either 3 or 4. I know that like he is not anywhere near new to this. This is something that we all expected him to do if he ever stepped back into the Royal Rumble. And I mean, he just dismantled everybody. Now, my question actually is, who is he going to go after for WrestleMania? Because now, I mean, he can take his pick. He can go back after Roman Reigns, or he can go after Bobby Lashley. Both of these guys are now on his hit list. They've both done him dirty in some kind of way, but Roman Reigns is definitely the one that has been asking for it more. But I don't know if that's going to be like enough. You know what I mean? Brock Lesnar wants his titles, and it'll just be interesting to see who he goes after. Or what if he gets one before WrestleMania? It is a ways away. So I could see that happening. Brock Lesnar going after Roman Reigns more for WrestleMania, but it also depends on what they do with Seth Rollins and where he fits into it. But I really have no idea. I'm excited to see it. I'm interested in it all, but I don't really know what to expect. But that's a good thing. You don't want to be predictable, and you kind of give Brock Lesnar the pick of figuring it out and letting us just wonder what he's going to do. So I'm excited to see it. I'm very interested, and I'm sure a lot of you all are as well. But let's get into the rating, man. So here on Take It to the Ring, we like to do our ratings for the event from 1 to 5. So 5 stars being, fight forever. 4 stars, this is awesome. 3 stars, you still got it. 2 stars being like, what? And 1 star is boring. Like, don't watch it. You could watch somebody's review, my review, my podcast or something, and it'd be way more entertaining than that. So last night, I'm gonna be honest, I was kind of ruthless. Me and my boys were saying it would be like a 2.5, 3 stars. I'll kick it up to about 3.5 max. Like, honestly, this was way too hyped for it to like fall as short as it did, in my opinion. I was expecting huge fights that, like took advantage of like the 49,000 people that showed up for the night. I just think that it was kind of a letdown. You know what I mean? There wasn't any really big changes. The Becky Lynch and Doudrop fight, man, that killed me. I was so hurt at how little that really did. You know what I mean? It really wasn't as spectacular as I thought it would be. The Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, I think could have been a little longer. I think it's a lot more character development, but I think that the character development should have been before this kind of event. This event's too big for it to be just about what we see the characters turning into, in my opinion. I was expecting some big moments that just didn't end up happening the way that I thought it would. Now, that doesn't mean that it wasn't a good event. I still had a great time with it. I was on the edge of my seat a few times, especially during the Rollins and Roman Reigns fight. I think that might have been my favorite. If I had to pick, if put a gun in my head, I would say more than likely it's between that or the Women's Royal Rumble, depending on the day. But I'm just going to go with Rollins and Reigns took the show. That was a really great way to start. Maybe they should have made that a little later. But, I still had fun. Okay, hold on. So, Keith, what did you say here? I find it weird that Mickie James was in the Rumble because she's under contract. I mean, but I liked it. I know that she's a champ on Impact, but maybe we'll actually see them bring some more people up. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Mickie James, and I don't really know what this means for the promotion and what that means on crossovers, but I am excited to see what they do from now on. Like there's too much talent out there. You know what I mean? And especially with the women's division, there's really still not a lot of competition in the WWE realm. So them branching out is kind of cool. I like it. I would like to see more of it. If my opinion on who I really want to see like make a big stand, Rhea Ripley. I want to see Rhea Ripley get more of a shot. I want to see her character develop in a better way. I think she has the potential to be a big star. So that's my random take on it. But I was happy with how this all turned out. Long story short, it wasn't the best. It wasn't what any of us really expected, but that's the WWE for you, man. You can't get everything that you wish for, but that does mean that we probably will get, a better showing for WrestleMania and other events. But that's all I got for this time, guys. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe for Take It to the Ring. And don't forget to follow me and my boys podcast also, with Take It to the Ring, the All Real Crew. You see it right there. Follow our Instagram. My brother Jamil is the loser of our predictions this time. We had a little bet that we're doing every big pay-per-view event, and he was the loser on predictions. So we got a big punishment for him coming up. So be sure to, tune in to see what that will be, because he'll be doing it this week. But until next time, guys, this is T-John. Thank you for joining me on Take It to the Ring, and keep it real, guys.